toy fans! Welcome back to another Happy Panda Toy Review video. I'm Ben, this is Ilani, and this mustache next to me is Rich.
Well, hello.
Today we are going to be reviewing the brand new Dunny by Jason Freeny, 5-inch.
Half Ray Dunny.
Half Ray Dunny. Wow. It's very exciting. We like to break down these review videos into a couple different categories. We start off with the concept, which is
the idea behind the toy.
We break into packaging, which is
what the packaging is made of.
Translation.
How well the toy goes from concept into 3 dimensions.
And then we're going to tackle the execution.
How well did the factory actually manufacture the toy?
And finally, we're going to break it down with the value.
Is it worth the price that it's at?
So, let's start off. Concept. What do you think, Rich?
I'm going to go with a 3. I think it's okay. Basically, it's the exact same design of the innards as the bigger one that Kidrobot came out with a couple months ago.
The Visible Dunny.
The Visible Dunny, thank you. It does have this look that Mighty Jaxx has been putting out, so this is pretty much in scale and in style with what Mighty Jaxx is doing. So the original Visible Dunny is more of old school Freeny. This is more now school Freeny. The one thing I don't like about it now school. You don't like now school?
No, I love it. Keep going.
Love now school.
Yeah.
What I don't like about this, I don't even remember what I don't like about this anymore. You interrupted me. I guess I don't like anything. It's fantastic. Change it to a 7.
All right. Hello, toy fans.
No, we're not starting again. This is it. I give it a 3. I don't like it as much as the Visible Dunny concept, but I feel like Rich said, it has continuity with what we've been seeing with Mighty Jaxx and Freeny. So if you're a collector, this will work in your collection really well. Cool.
I'm going to give it a 2 because if you watched our previous video, we brought up a thing called Freeny fatigue, and by now I've got it. We've seen a lot of stuff from him. I really don't need to see any more, at least for a little while. He's a very talented artist. Respect his work, but we just had this piece come out. Yeah, it was a full Dunny inside of it. Yes, it was 8 inches, but I just saw this piece. I feel like it's a concept of saying, hey, let's just make a smaller version of that same piece and just show you half of it. Whatever. 2.
Oh, the thing that I was going to say and then I completely forgot. This scale from Kidrobot was supposed to be for customizers and first-time Dunny usage, and not the case here. So it's
I don't know why they're deviating from that.
Right.
That was a good idea.
It was a great
hard pivot.
It was a great plan.
Yeah.
Hard pivot.
Stick to the plan. It was a good plan.
All right.
So what are we thinking for packaging today?
You could start.
So at first blush, I liked this packaging. Again, it resonated with what Mighty Jaxx has been doing, which it looks good. But then the more I looked at it, this half part, which when the Dunny is inside it, obscures the white part of the Dunny. The art on here really doesn't give me any sort of Freeny vibes or this Dunny vibes. Like, this just looks completely disjointed. And the more I looked at it, the more it kind of made me angry as to why they chose these graphics. So I give it a 2.
I'm going to go with a 3. It's okay. It fits in with everything Mighty Jaxx is doing in terms of material and this sort of like half visible bit of it. Yeah, Elodie's right. This pattern has nothing really to do with the Dunny other than its random body parts that don't necessarily reflect his style. However, I think it's a fun pattern. So...
All right. I'm going to give it a 2. I really don't care for it. Here's why. I thought with the 5-inch Dunnies, we were supposed to be able to have window box Dunnies that you can stack up all next to each other, and they say what number they are in the series. Right here, we got number 5. So I have 4 previous Dunnies that I can stack up next to these. They're all in cardboard boxes with the Dunny shape cut out that shows you what the Dunny is inside. I put this next to it. It no longer looks like it belongs with the rest of them.
It's not cohesive.
It breaks the mold. I don't like that. Now, if they were all in these boxes, that would be very cool. I'd like the idea of having a full window, being able to see in from multiple sides. I like having a pattern, not this one, but I do like the idea of having a pattern done by the artist to accent the Dunny and give them a little bit more of, hey, this is what I do and enjoy my artwork. I don't feel like Jason Freeny designed this box. Maybe he did. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't feel like he did, and it doesn't fit with the rest of them. Good idea, but I don't like it too. Translation.
All right, how well did we go from concept into actual piece we got before us?
All right, can I start this one off?
Yeah, please do.
I feel like timing has a lot to do with how I personally feel about this Dunny. When the Visible Dunny came out, again, as much as I was suffering from Freeny fatigue, it felt like, finally, this is such a great looking Dunny. Regardless of anything, context, it's a cool looking Dunny. You don't need to know who the artist is, when it came out, anything like that. You could just look at it and it was cool. I feel like this has the potential for that, but they came so close together, and there's so much stuff going on that's very similar with his artwork that it just doesn't feel exciting. It doesn't feel fresh or fun. So to me, it's... I don't want to be too harsh on it. I don't want to give it a 2. I'll give it a 3.
I'm going to give it a 4. Again, the skeletal parts, in terms of design and concept, are almost identical to what we had last time. The way in which they kind of smoothed out the Dunny here, I don't know, like this half ear, I'm just obsessed with touching it. I don't know why. The one problem that I do have before I get to a 5 is, I'm not sure if this is factory or if this was in sculpting, but the skeletal hand and the skeletal foot on the, inside part of the Dunny, the sculpting looks blurrier than the actual other organs do. And it could have been a material choice, vinyl versus some sort of PVC, but I'm wondering if it's a sculpt thing. It just doesn't have the same detail
I feel
that
like
the rest of the body
execution.
has. No, I can't really tell if it's execution. I mean, the paint on it is sloppy, which we'll get to later, but the actual sculpt of it, I can't tell if that has anything to do with sculptural, how this part was sculpted, or if it was casting. It's kind of hard to see, but it's just not as clean as the rest of the Dunny.
All right, so I'm gonna have to agree with you. Give it a 4. If you look at the 8-inch version of it, I gave it a 4. It was a great sculpt, great design. A lot of work went into it, and I feel that a lot of those same things remain true. However, the reason I gave it a 4 in the last one also remains true. I do not like the big blocky chest cavity. I would have liked to have seen some definition in there and been able to see the organs underneath them as opposed to this big painted mass. It just takes away from the intricacies of the sculpt. So again, I'm just gonna give it a 4 for exactly the same reasons I gave it a 4 the first time.
There you go.
So we're moving on to execution. Let's talk about that sloppy paint.
Yeah, the paint on this hand and leg, I don't know if the paint is chunky, if it has something to do with the plastic it's cast in. It makes it look blurry almost, like you're looking at it like, do I have bad vision right there? Like there's not as much detail as you get in the rest of the head. The lower part of the jaw, it's the same thing. So when you look at the teeth have 2 different sets of definition to them, and they're 2 different colors. You get the same thing on the back of the Dunny, where this hand is obviously not vinyl because it can't be hollow, so it's different colors of paint, and it doesn't have the same level of smoothness. It looks almost bumpy. And then you've got this little foot cap, which is super not even close to flat.
It's like he's wearing a weird flip-flop.
It's not trimmed, so it's actually round. It's actually a different shape than the other foot. You could see tons of seam work in it. It's not very well done in this whole area. Everything that's in vinyl, paint, casting, perfect. Beautiful. Anything that's in PVC or maybe tiny resin pieces do not look good at all. So, I don't know, I guess I'm kind of at a 3 where one side is really good and one side looks really bad.
I'm going to give this a 2 for execution. I think, and this kind of goes more a little to translation, I wish it was glossy. I feel like if it was glossy, it would be better. But
what aspect? The white?
Yeah,
the white was glossy?
The white was glossy. But the problems with the execution, it's everything that Rich said. This should be just super clean, simple, bold, beautiful. It's not. It's a hot mess. Yeah. aesthetically, it's not pleasing to the eye, and it really gives me agita to look at it. So I'm going to stop looking at it.
All right. Well, I feel you're being a little harsh, and also honest.
Harshly honest.
But I mean, no. There's so many things that I fall between the 2 and the 3 on this one, because there's so many. I want to say chances taken, even though it's not chances taken. You just made the same dunny, and just now you're making it smaller. I want to lean towards a 3. This is the problems that you have. There's also nice things in there, and
like what? It's really just because you guys like sticking your thumbs in the eye socket.
it's the best eye socket.
Don't
ever.
know what it is.
That's
fits so
the only redeeming quality.
The thumb eye socket is the fidget spinner of dunnies.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. I don't know. It's like putting together a puzzle and the pieces fit just right. You
Maybe
get your
that's
thumb
what
right
it
in
is.
there.
My thumb is too small to perfectly fit in the eye socket,
Well,
and that's why I can't sing this dunny's praises.
A really random tangent, but it is
execution.
very
I
satisfying.
give a 3 to the dunny thumb hole.
Dunny thumb hole.
Dunny thumb hole.
It's just so good.
So let's talk about the value of this piece. The retail on this one is going to be $30. The standard that they have created for the 5-inch platform has been $30. We've seen them all over the place since its inception, but it was supposed to be, like we said earlier, artists, customizers. First time on the platform, let's take a small risk, not a huge risk, give you guys a little 5-inch dunny, and it can be your first piece. And also for the collectors who weren't quite ready to spend more money and buy bigger pieces. Right, it was accessible to them. So they were supposed to come out at $30. They bounced all over the place. They're back at $30. What do you think?
$30 is where it's at. I wouldn't pay anything more than $30 for this type of dunny.
Okay.
Yeah, 30, it's one of those, like, 30 is slightly overpriced for the Mighty Jack stuff, or some of them, or maybe it's right there. I really don't remember. But I feel like, in terms of that, it's got that, it's part Mighty Jack's, part Kidrobot dunny, so it's kind of hard to be like, oh, well, if it was just a regular dunny, $30 is on its money, but it's got all of this work done in here that I feel like it is a slightly better value. And it's not made in the same run size as that Mighty Jack's putting stuff out.
Doesn't the execution take a little bit away from that for you?
No, because for all I know, every other dunny could be
is perfection.
That's why I don't know if this is sculpting or if this is manufacturing. I really can't tell where the fuck up is, so I kind of gave it to a little bit of both. But otherwise, I would say this is a 4. This is actually a good deal because, if you consider most dunnies are in this scale are supposed to be at 30, and this one is, but it obviously has a lot of extra tooling to it.
So we're putting this at a 4?
Put it at a 4.
All right.
I think it's a good deal.
You know what? I'm going to say that it's going to be at a 3. I feel that, like you said, I could have put it at a 4 for all the same reasons that you listed, with the exception of the fact that we've already seen an 8-inch version of this dunny that was done much, much better, and that came out at $75. $75 being the status quo for dunnies. This one being not as well executed, basically the same thing. It should be at the status quo for this size, and it should be $30. It is $30. That's at its money.
I think I was amazed with the value of the other one too.
I was super amazed with the value of it, and our scores reflected that.
I'm still vaguely amazed that they kept this at this price point, but they probably kept it at 30 because they knew they would sell them out. They knew they're gonna have no problem selling these at 30, so like, it's not a big deal. We're gonna make our money. If they made them at 45, maybe some people would be like, well, screw that, the other one was 75. So this was playing it safe.
So what was our overall scores?
So scores on this one, Illinois, you scored this one at an average of 2.6.
Wow, I think this is the worst toy we've ever reviewed for you.
I don't like it.
All right, there you go.
Rich, you gave this one a 3.4.
Because it's okay.
And I gave it a 2.4 because it's okay not to be okay. And this one is not okay.
All right.
So would you buy it? Because this is the question we always have to ask, even though I feel like it's pretty apparent what our answers are.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy this one either.
Not worth it. I have a much better version of it already.
Yeah, I think the 8-inch was super exciting, really cool, and that was the piece for me when it came to Jason Freeny stuff.
I'm going to add an asterisk to my comment, though. I wouldn't buy this one because I bought the other one and I'm more of a Dunny collector. I feel like if you collect the Jason Freeny Mighty Jax stuff, don't buy the Visible Dunny, buy this one.
Because it'll be in scale, and it'll
This will
look
be in
more
scale.
like the other stuff.
This will look more like the other stuff. This will be a much better representation of that style, but I don't collect those pieces, so I wouldn't buy this one because this seems more geared towards that collector.
I got to agree. It's a very good point. I mean, there's a Dunny for everyone, and everyone for a Dunny. So, but where can you find it?
You can buy them right now at happypandatoys.com. We have them on the website. This is the Half Ray Dunny, so check it out.